Pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Hoover High School Coaches Show. I'm Jeff Lloyd, along with the head coach of the Hoover Bucks. That, of course, is Chip English, and we're glad to have you join us here. We're at Beef O'Brady's. We're here every Wednesday night, and we hope that you'll come by and take advantage of the good food. This is Wednesday Wings Night, so come and get some 99-cent wings. Well, the Bucks had their first game of the season last Friday and came away on the short end of a 34-14 ball game. Coach, it's never easy to talk about losses, but I guess we can spend a little time on last week's game. What were the things that came out of that game for you that you just feel about how the team played and what you think you need to work on more?
Well, no matter who you play, you want your first game to really be a barometer of where you're at, what things you need to work through, and that's the whole reason why we typically have out-of-region games, so you can kind of work through those. So obviously our week 0 was one of the best teams in the country, and so we kind of saw what we had, what we need to work on, how we need to fix it. So proud of the guys. I thought we had great effort last week. We were incredibly disciplined when it came to penalties.
Yeah.
So that was a plus. And so, a couple people proved themselves, and then a couple people left that position open a little bit. And so we're going to play some more guys this week and see where they're at. Obviously building up into region play next week. But great environment. I thought the guys responded well under the lights. Thought we had a chance a lot of the game. Made a couple mistakes that kind of cost us, and we knew our margin of error were small, and so couldn't overcome some of that stuff, but very, very proud of the guys. Some of our top-level guys, the Jonah Winstons, the Justin Hartleys, the Javon Pulliams, Trey Sanders, Jeremiah Tabb, those guys showed that they belonged on that stage, and that was part of the reason why we wanted to host a big national game like that.
The opponent was IMG, if you're unfamiliar with that. They are a school that has players from all over the country, and they're probably 4 or 5-star athletes. Your team stayed with them for the first quarter and pretty much for the first half. It was you played as well as you could, I think.
Yeah, one swing, the pick six. We were up 7-6, and then we gave them. We had a double move right there, actually. So it could have been literally 7 points for us. Instead, it was 7 points for them. So, a big swing like that, it was really the difference in the first half. Thought our guys responded coming out of halftime with making the adjustments that we did. But, it was a good week 0. Came out, we grew, we developed, we matured as a team. And, a lot of guys got their first start on both sides of the ball Friday. So really pleased with the guys, and they responded well in the face of adversity. So coming off of a loss, going into a big rivalry game, I think we're okay.
You knew that team was going to be outstanding. They were ranked 4th in the nation coming into that game last week. Coach, how did you approach going into that game? What did you tell your players first before the game, and then how you addressed them after the game?
Well, going into the game, we had a great fall camp, building in our installs, our situations. Thought our guys were prepared. But the reality of it is you get an opportunity, and you're only guaranteed 10 of those opportunities a year. And so our guys took that as to heart, and they took advantage of their opportunity. And so, coming out after the game, the guys, whether we won or lost, we were going to have to move on. And that didn't change what we did on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and moving forward. So thought different from last year. Our guys really have matured a little bit, especially our team leaders, those captains, the Trey Sanders. But those guys have really kind of led the team. Even Jonah said a couple things after the game, and he addressed the team a little bit and told them it's time to move on and take that next step.
Now, speaking of Trey Sanders, I thought he played outstanding defense.
Yeah, 6 solo tackles, was just all over the field. He had a big tackle on the punt block. It wasn't a block, but it was an opportunity, a big change of momentum there. And so he was all over the field, and that's what you expect out of a 3-year starter. It's what you expect out of our Mike linebacker, and he made the adjustments. The game wasn't too fast for him, and he showed he belonged on that stage.
Yeah. This week, you take on Spain Park, and it's kind of hard to wrap my head around the fact they're no longer in the same region as Hoover. They've dropped down to 6A, Hoover's 7A. And when we were at Media Days earlier this month, someone asked your players what game they were looking forward to the most, and I think almost to a man, everyone said Spain Park. They remember last year.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a bad taste in our mouth. We thought we left some stuff on the field last year that we shouldn't have, with some turnovers, and I think they completed like 5 trick plays. But they came out with the win and we didn't, and so that left a bad taste in our guys' mouth. And we're going to treat it like every other game. We're going to prepare like every other game. But to say that the emotion isn't there and the drive isn't there to try to take back over the city, I'd be lying.
We'll talk a little bit more about Spain Park in a moment, but I wanted to try to shift gears a little bit because this is a rivalry game. Just in general, how important are rivalries for you or in the game of football, do you think?
Well, listen, again, I approach every game in the same manner. But rivalries are great for sports in general, especially for football. So you have 2 teams going at it with emotion, discipline, and it gets your city excited. It gets your fan base excited. It's a great moneymaker for these programs, for us and them. So it's important. It really is, and I'm glad it is a rivalry, and we have several of them throughout our.
You took the words out of my mouth.
we have a lot of rivalries, it seems like, but that's kind of par for the course for us. When we established ourselves years ago, we were kind of everybody's rivalry. So, and obviously it's a natural rivalry being in the Hoover City Schools with them. And, I'm excited for the guys. It means something. The high school experience is better because of sports. The high school experience is better because you have rivalries within those sports. So really excited about Friday.
You talked about the fans. They get excited about those rivalry games. You had a great turnout for the game Friday night. I thought it was outstanding.
It was rocking. And I didn't realize it until I always, after the game, I always go home and my wife's always, up waiting, and I asked her, I said, how was it tonight? And I'm not talking about the game because I watched the game.
Sure.
I'm talking about the stands, the atmosphere, everybody. And so she said it was great. And so that's exciting for not only our players to have that support, but again, the entire school. I'm a big believer in football, and the football season and is the front porch to the entire year for the school and the school system. And to start it off that way with that atmosphere is big.
Yeah, and it wasn't just students. You had the community there. There were a lot of adults that were in that stadium on Friday night, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah, I think, was it Miss Alabama, Miss Hoover, Miss America, one of them or 2 of them were there. Yeah. And so all the dignitaries, our new principal, Dr. Sayers, got to go out for the coin toss. And so just, again, it encompasses a football game like that, or a football game in general, encompasses one, the entire school, and really the entire city. They say the line to get in was still lined up, even into the second quarter. So it's a big deal around here, and that's the reason why I came here, is because football's important.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Spain Park. Spain Park is 1-0. They had a very successful season last year, and as we talked about, they got away with a win with the Bucks last year at the Met, and so you travel over there this Friday night.
Yeah, and listen, Coach Vakakis does a great job of preparing his guys, and he kind of stands on his belief on how to prepare a team, and it showed success, especially last year. And so the great thing about sports is that each year you get to turn over a new leaf, and even though there's familiar faces on a team, the reality of it is the team is different, not only for them but for us too. So we separated ourselves from last year, and what we see on film, they show a little bit of a different look, both defensively and offensively. Some personnel has changed. There was some turnover up front defensively for them. They got their 2 safeties back, but overall, it's a different team, a different year, and it should be a good one.
What can we look for out of them in terms of what they do offensively?
Well, Brock's gonna try to throw it around, and their thing is this. We feel like when they're the most successful is when they get explosive plays. The 20-plus yard runs, the 20-plus yard throws, and obviously Brock's a good enough QB where if he has enough time, he can hurt you. And so, we're going to try to get to him and make sure that he's uncomfortable all night. But when they get those chunk plays, they have success. We feel like if we can eliminate those chunk plays, those explosive plays, we'll come out on top.
You named some of the individual players that had good games the other night. Let's talk a little bit about where you feel that you really did well, and what are the areas that you really want to improve on for this week, regardless of opponent?
Yeah, well, one, defensively, I thought we had some really good stops. We created turnovers, not only in the special teams game, but on defense as well with a fumble late in the game. The one thing that we do really want to make sure we're working on is our tackling ability. We felt like at times last week we didn't tackle as well as what we could. And so we've been really working hard this week. Coach Reeves is getting those guys prepared in order to get those ball carriers to the ground. Now, it didn't help us that, their running back was, 6'2", 230 either. But we take that very seriously, and we took it personal last week that we didn't get them to the ground. And I know that's a point of emphasis this week is to get those ball carriers to the ground. And then, offensively, we had some really good possessions, but we had 6 3-and-outs. And that's just unacceptable. And so what we have to do is make sure we're sustaining drives. I think if we put ourselves in good positions, the second and manageables, the third and manageables, we're going to have a lot of success. And I really think that magic number is right around that 15 first down mark. If we get 15 first downs, we're either going to win or we're going to be in it in the end. And so really sustaining those drives is important to us.
There were a couple of drives where you were really backed up. I think you were back to almost your 1-yard line at one point, and then you had to punt from the end zone. That was tough.
Yeah, listen, the game, especially in close games, is a matter of field position. And we felt like we were struggling, several possessions where we were just fighting out of our own end zone. And we got to do a better job as coaches making sure we're sustaining those drives. And then 2, changing field positions ourselves, not only defensively holding them, but also in the special teams game, in the kicking game, making sure we're flipping the field when we have the opportunity.
Tell me a little bit about your thought on your special teams and tell me a little bit about who those people are. I know that James Bryan was listed as number 1 on the depth chart, but I don't think he played Friday.
He didn't. He had a lower body injury that kind of prohibited him from playing, and we felt like at this point in the year we were just going to hold him out. He probably could have went, but would have been limited. And while it's important to win, the kid's safety is more important. And so we made that decision to kind of hold him out and give some other guys an opportunity. So, Grant Morrison is our punter. He had some really good kicks and then some kicks that, I wish he probably wishes he had back. So those guys are going to do the brunt of I expect James to play. He is going to be a game time decision, but I do expect him to play. Steele Witchie came in and did a good job. But we got to be more consistent in that. We take great pride in our special teams. Coach Harrell does a great job of scheming things up. We did have a block punt. And so we've been working on it all week, and we think we've improved drastically this week. And, especially in the PAT field goal range, whenever you have an opportunity to put points on the board, that play is very important. And so we've worked on that a little bit more than usual this week. And, so when we have that opportunity again, it's not getting blocked, and we're going to be able to put points on the board.
One of the things last week's ball game, you really didn't have a chance for your return team to do much. They were kicking it into the end zone every time.
Yeah, when you have the number 1 kicker in the country, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
And but when we did get one opportunity, we had a decent return. We felt like our scheme was pretty good. We felt like we had, if they did make a mistake and not kick it into the end zone, we could make them pay. I think we missed one block right there, missed assignment, or we could have really had a big return. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of opportunities. And the hope is that you're not doing too many kickoff returns because you're limiting their scoring drives. And so, but when you do get that opportunity, we have some electric returners and Hunter Purdue, to Paxton Weatherly, and then obviously Jonah Winston can take it to the house. So, yeah, when they have the opportunity, they got to go.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at my notes back from when we all got together for the media day, and you were mentioning that there were lots of things that you wanted to try to get Jonah Winston involved in, and you had him at quarterback on a few plays last week. When would you use him? What's the thought process there?
Well,
at quarterback, I mean.
Yeah, one, Jonah's an incredible team player, and he is willing to do anything and everything to help our team be successful. And so when you got a player with his caliber, he could probably be a right guard and be the best right guard we had. And so that's just the type of player he is. But, there's certain opportunities in certain situations where we like him back there just because we can eliminate the middleman, right? We can just get him the ball right now. Mm-hmm. And so he held on PAT field goal.
Yeah.
He played quarterback. He had a couple rushes. He caught eight passes. He would have gotten a return. So he's going to be all over the field. And so, but when you're that caliber of player, you have that ability to do that, and he makes our team better because of that. And that's the reason why he's not only one of the best players in the state. He showed Friday night he was running away from some of the 4 and 5 stars that IMG had.
Yeah, and I thought there were 2 outstanding catches by Jeremiah Tabb, especially the one he caught and then took for the touchdown.
Listen, his catch radius is the best that I've seen in a long time. One, he's 6'2", but he's a really strong 6'2". He's about 205 pounds, and his ability to go up and get the ball, his ability to catch in traffic, his ability to catch through contact is very impressive. And he showed that Friday night, and we got to do a better job of finding ways to get him the ball, a couple more touches, because when he touches the ball, good things happen.
Mm-hmm. We are at Beefo Brady's, and we're here every Wednesday night. At least that's the plan. And it is Wednesday wing night here, and it is Wednesday. Every Wednesday night is wing night here, and 99-cent wings, so you can't beat it. And tell you what, Coach, I took mine home last week, and they were outstanding. I know you're in wing.
They were. I went ahead and just sat down right at one of these tables and tore it all up. So it was good. Service is great. Atmosphere is great here. So really excited and thankful that Beefo Brady's has us out every week.
Yeah, they have other specials throughout the week. They have Burger Monday, they have Taco Tuesday, of course Wings Wednesday, Stakeout Thursday, and on Friday they have Fish and Chips Friday, and then cheeseburger and wings on Saturday. You can get wings you can get them anytime, but the special is on Wednesday night. And our thanks to the good folks here who make us feel welcome and take care of us here every week. Well, Coach, we are coming up on this game this coming week. They always say that the biggest improvement is between game 1 and game 2. Good practice this week?
They have been, and we're trying to make sure we're staying really, really sharp in what we're doing. I thought Monday and Tuesdays were great days. Today we had to reset a little bit and do a couple things, but that's why you prepare. That's why you practice. And so the guys are when they're not taking physical reps, they're taking mental reps, and changing some guys in and out, really trying to build our depth right now. And so practices are really tough, and they're really fast, and that's intentional about what we're doing. Each week we try to put the guys in situations so when they go out on Friday nights, they're not going out in those situations for the first time. And so, our practices are jam-packed in order to cover our base first downs, base second downs. Their blitz pickup, all the third down situations, your red zone skelly, your red zone, your 10 and in, your goal line. So your 2-minute drill, all those situations that you might have in a game, you want to try to practice throughout the week. And so our guys mentally have to have great weeks, and they've done that this week.
You talked about the consistency of doing just the simple things, the normal things, over and over and over again. I've heard you comment that more than one time.
Well, the consistency is key for anything, and not only sports, but they really, really matter in sports. And so, we made some mistakes Friday night that I don't think we'll make again. But the big thing is I tell Caleb, the play and getting it right is more important than the pace of in which you do it. And what I mean by that is, we want to work with pace. We want to move the ball. We want to be efficient. But making sure we have the right play in and making sure everybody understands the play and everybody's set is the most important thing. And so, and he's developing great. Caleb is really coming along. He's being comfortable. You know, he had a couple bad series, but he had some really, really good series too. So really seeing him step up as a leader and really being comfortable. And, you know, the reality of it is like each year, and from playing the position, I know sophomore, the game is happening really, really fast. As a junior, the game is starting to slow down, but it's still happening really fast. And by the way, Friday night, it happened really, really fast because of who we were playing. And then, you know, the progression is as a senior, that thing slows down for you, and you're really seeing it in almost slow-mo. So Caleb's in that process, and he's doing great for us. But not just him. You know, like Trey Sanders is the quarterback of our defense, you know, and then Jackson Lassiter is doing a great job of playing multiple positions. DJ Walloon is moving all over the field. And then, you know, our two edges, Justin Hartley and Javon Pulliam, and then Tyson Bacon in there. They're really, really developing a high-level skill, and they're not just doing it for them, they're doing it for the team and making sure, you know, Tyson moving inside was a huge, I don't want to say sacrifice, but listen, everybody wants to be out on the edge and rush the passer. You know, he moved into that 3 technique and even inside, and he's really doing a great job, not only in the run game, but obviously he can get after the passer too.
You had been the offensive coordinator last year. You have someone designated for that for this season. How difficult was it to turn that over last Friday and not have the play call?
It was different, but I'll tell you this, and ever since Coach LeBeau's came, one, we've had a great relationship, and two, it's his offense, it's his terminology, but obviously as a head coach, just like in anything, I'm going to have my hand in it, and I'm going to be able to kind of be in the meeting rooms and talk about personnel and talk about plays, and I feel like we've worked well together in the sense of like we're talking about it. Hey, Coach, what do you think about this? Hey, you know, I'll walk into his office and say, hey, look at play 55. You know, let's look at this. Do you like it? So I really think we're coming together as a staff, not just me and Coach LeBeau, but our entire staff, really learning how to get into that process. And it takes a little time. It's just like a new roster. It's a new staff too, and we're molding together. And I think we're only going to get better as the weeks go on.
One of the things I noticed in the scrimmage game, and then I saw at least one last Friday, is the screenplay. I love the screen, and it didn't develop as well as you wanted to this time, but I've seen it work for you in the scrimmage.
Yeah, and listen, that's a big part of our game. We love the screen game. We love quick game. We love getting the ball down the field. So the big thing is keeping the defense guessing, if you will. We don't want to give it away when we're going to do that. So, I mean, we could do it early in the downs. We could do it on 3rd and long. Mm-hmm. We can go from the right, from the left. And so we missed one we thought was going to be a really big play, just overshot the running back right there. But that's a big part of what we do. And really, you know, the screen game does a lot for us. One, we feel like we can have explosive plays out of it. And then two, it also slows down that pass rush. And because Spain will try to get after it as well. So, we use it in a timely manner, and I think strategically it serves us well.
What about the use of your tight end? Who are the tight ends? Name those for me, and how would you be using those, if at all?
Yeah, so each personnel is a little bit different, and we have Anderson Clark is our starter, and he's a junior, and then Carson McCain, and we get in 10 personnel. Sometimes Anderson will be on the field. Sometimes we'll take him out and put a true receiver in. But he's done a great job. He's a real savvy football player, and he just finds a way to get things done. So we can go from 10 to 11 and even 12 personnel. We'll bring in Carson McCain to do some of that stuff. But also, I mean, you might see Jonah as a tight end, and not necessarily an inline tight end, but moving around and doing the things that a tight end would do. So those guys have done a great job. Russ Pilkington, our tight ends coach, has really developed those guys to be not only pass catchers but run blockers too. So it's a good mix.
Yeah. Well, the game is at Spain Park this coming Friday night. It's a 7 o'clock game, so there won't be the 8 o'clock late start like we had last Friday. And we'll have the broadcast here on the NFHS network, and we hope you'll join us for that. And if you are in the neighborhood, stop by and root these guys on. It was a great turnout last Friday night, and we hope that we'll have the same kind of turnout rooting for the Bucks this coming Friday. Coach, any final thoughts before we wrap things up for tonight?
No, I really want to appreciate all the fans that came out last week and supported us. I know they'll be out this Friday night in full, and our players have been working really hard, and I really feel like as we develop and grow, we're going to see the successes that we all want to see. And so really just thankful where we're at right now as a program, for the fan base, for the administration, and go Bucks.
Yeah. We'll see you on Friday night at Spain Park, and we'll hope to see you back here next Wednesday night when the coach and I get together and discuss the Spain Park game and look ahead to the following week's game. And we, again, want to say our thanks to Beef O'Brady's, and they are just outstanding. Come out here and join us on Wednesday next week and any other time during the week. And, of course, Wednesday is Wing Night. For Coach English, I'm Jeff Lloyd. That's going to wrap it up for the Coach's Show, and we'll see you on Friday night. So long, everybody.